Hey wrestling fans, today's video is dedicated to the legends we've lost along the way, the champions who gave their all in the ring and won our hearts forever. We're going to relive some of their unforgettable matches, iconic moments, and the impact they had on the wrestling world. And don't go anywhere, because we have some shocking news about Kevin Owens at the end of this video. That's sure to stir up the wrestling community. Let's get ready to honor these warriors and dive into an emotional tribute. Fabulous Moolah, born Mary Lillian Ellison on July 22, 1923, in Tukey, South Carolina, was not just a wrestler. She was a force of nature who shattered boundaries in a male-dominated industry and became the first woman to achieve mainstream stardom in professional wrestling. Her journey began in the 1940s, when she laced up her boots during an era when women's wrestling was often dismissed or relegated to novelty status. But Moolah had no interest in playing second fiddle. With her sharp instincts, athleticism, and undeniable charisma, she quickly carved out a reputation as a fierce competitor and savvy entertainer. Her dominance was unparalleled. Moolah held the Women's World Championship for a staggering 28 consecutive years, from 1956 to 1984. This record remains one of the most enduring feats in wrestling history. Known for blending technical skill with theatrical flair, she brought legitimacy and excitement to women's wrestling at a time when few took it seriously. She was not only a champion in the ring, but also a mentor and trainer, guiding numerous aspiring female wrestlers into the spotlight. Moolah's influence extended beyond matches and titles. She played a pivotal role in bringing women's wrestling to television audiences, helping elevate the division to new levels of visibility and respect. Her work with major promotions like WWE ensured that women had a consistent and powerful presence in the industry. However, her legacy is not without controversy. Allegations regarding her control over the careers of female wrestlers surfaced later in her life, casting shadows over some aspects of her managerial practices. Still, her impact remains undeniable. Fabulous Moolah passed away at the age of 84 due to complications from a shoulder replacement surgery and declining health. Her legacy endures as both a trailblazer and a complex figure in the history of wrestling. Daphne, born Shannon Claire Spruill on July 17, 1975, was a professional wrestler, actress, and manager who left a unique and lasting impact on the wrestling industry. Known for her gothic, unpredictable persona and passionate performances, Daphne became a beloved figure among fans and colleagues alike. Tragically, she passed away at the age of 46. Her death was ruled a suicide by a self-inflicted gunshot wound, a heartbreaking end that sparked widespread discussion about mental health in professional wrestling. Daphne first rose to prominence in World Championship Wrestling, WCW, during the late 1990s and early 2000s. She quickly became a standout performer due to her eccentric, shrieking character that blended gothic and punk influences. Her offbeat charisma, paired with her willingness to engage in physical storytelling, helped her gain popularity in a male-dominated industry. She notably won the WCW Cruiserweight Championship, one of the few women to hold that title, and participated in numerous memorable storylines that highlighted her versatility and dedication. After WCW's closure, Daphne continued her career in various wrestling promotions, most notably Total Nonstop Action Wrestling, TNA. In TNA, she continued to push creative boundaries, becoming known for her daring stunts, intense character work, and commitment to a darker, edgier wrestling persona. She also appeared on the independent circuit and took roles in film and television. showcasing her acting talents beyond the ring. In her later years, Daphne faced increasing mental health struggles, which she openly discussed on social media. Her untimely passing prompted tributes from across the wrestling world and reignited conversations around mental health awareness and support systems for performers. Daphne is remembered not only for her groundbreaking character work, but also for the vulnerability and honesty she shared with fans. Her legacy continues to influence the wrestling industry and mental health advocacy within it. Scott William Henson, born on July 13, 1983 in Canada, was a multi-talented professional wrestler, actor, podcaster, and internet personality whose charisma, creativity, and humor left a lasting impression on fans across multiple entertainment platforms. Known affectionately in the ring as the Big Cat and Scoot, Henson passed away on June 15, 2024 at the age of 40, leaving behind a vibrant legacy that resonated deeply within both the wrestling and online communities. Henson began his wrestling journey in the summer of 2000 with Van City Championship Wrestling, VCW, a promotion that later evolved into ICUX between 2010 and 2014. His signature tiger-striped gear and wrestling pause helped define his memorable persona, earning him the nickname Big Cat. A standout on the independent circuit, he found success in Seattle's 3-2-1 Battle promotion, where he was a two-time Solid Steel champion in 2016. His blend of showmanship, comedic timing, and in-ring skill made him a fan favorite. Outside of wrestling, Henson carved out a unique niche as a podcaster and content creator. In 2018, he co-founded the Worst Year of Our Lives podcast with longtime tag partner Drew Smith, also known as Sarian Soft Paws. Their sharp commentary on WCW Nitro's final season, along with film reviews and pop culture discussions, earned them a loyal following. Henson also became a frequent collaborator with YouTuber Adam Johnston, aka Your Movie Sucks, showcasing his quick wit and sharp comedic instincts. His appearances on the Drunken Peasants podcast cemented his place as a beloved voice in the internet comedy scene. Tragically, Henson's life was cut short due to complications related to type 1 diabetes, a condition he had managed for years. Though his passing came far too soon, his impact continues to be felt through the laughter, stories, and performances he left behind, an enduring tribute to a one-of-a-kind entertainer. Steve Williams, affectionately known in the wrestling world as Dr. Death, was a powerhouse both on the football field and in the wrestling ring. Born on May 14, 1960, Williams earned a reputation for being one of the toughest and most intense competitors of his time. Standing tall with unmatched strength and raw athleticism, he brought a level of intensity that made every match feel like a real fight. Before making waves in professional wrestling, Williams had already made a name for himself as a standout football player at the University of Oklahoma, where he played as a defensive tackle. His football background helped shape his hard-hitting, physical wrestling style, something that quickly caught the attention of fans when he entered the world of wrestling in the early 1980s. Williams rose to fame through his work in major promotions, like the National Wrestling Alliance, NWA, and Japan's All Japan Pro Wrestling, AJPW. He was a dominant force in the ring, winning multiple titles, including the prestigious AJPW Triple Crown Heavyweight Championship. His matches were often grueling, hard-hitting battles, and his rivalries, with names like Terry Gordy and even The Undertaker, became legendary. Off the mat, Steve Williams was admired not just for his accomplishments, but for his personal strength. he was diagnosed with throat cancer, a battle he fought bravely and publicly. He underwent surgery to have his voice box removed, but remained active in the wrestling community, using his experience to raise awareness about cancer and inspire others facing similar challenges. Sadly, Steve Williams passed away at the age of 49 due to complications from throat cancer. His courage, talent, and spirit left a lasting legacy, and Dr. Death remains a beloved and respected figure in wrestling history. Chris Markoff, a respected name in professional wrestling during the 1960s and 1970s, passed away at the age of 85 in. His cause of death was related to complications from multiple organ failure following a prolonged illness. Though not always in the main event spotlight, Markoff left an undeniable mark on the wrestling world with his rugged style, powerful presence, and commitment to his craft. Known for his villainous persona, Markoff embraced the role of the foreign heel, a classic trope in wrestling where performers would portray antagonistic characters from outside the United States. This role, while controversial by today's standards, was a staple in wrestling's territory era, and Markoff played it with convincing intensity. With a stern glare, rough in-ring style, and natural charisma, he knew how to work a crowd and stir emotions, whether fans loved to boo him or grudgingly admired his toughness. Markoff's career spanned numerous North American territories, with standout performances in the American Wrestling Association, AWA, and several regional promotions. He formed tag teams with fellow heels and clashed with fan-favorite babyfaces in matches that were often hard-hitting and gritty. He wasn't a flashy performer, but his matches were known for their realism and intensity, earning him the respect of both fans and fellow wrestlers. Though he never achieved the widespread fame of some of his contemporaries, Markoff was a cornerstone of the territory wrestling era, a reliable worker who helped build the foundation of what professional wrestling would become in later decades. His dedication to the business and his role as a dependable heel contributed to the rise of wrestling during a transformative period. Chris Markoff's passing marks the end of an era, but his contributions live on through the stories, matches, and memories he left behind. Bertha Faye, born Rhonda Ann Singh on August 14, 1964, was a Canadian professional wrestler, best known for her dynamic presence in several major wrestling promotions during the 1990s. She passed away at the age of 36. The cause of death was a heart attack, reportedly linked to underlying health issues. Singh began her wrestling career in the 1980s, training in Calgary, Alberta, and gaining early prominence in Japan and other international promotions. She became known for her strength and commanding in-ring style, particularly during her time as Monster Ripper in All Japan Women's Pro Wrestling, where she captured multiple championships. Her international success laid the groundwork for her entrance into the North American wrestling scene. In 1995, Singh joined the World Wrestling Federation, WWF, now WWE under the ring name Bertha Faye. Portraying a brash, flamboyant character with a comedic edge, she stood out from the more traditionally portrayed female wrestlers of the era. Bertha Faye was often featured in storylines that balanced humor with competition, and she quickly made her mark by capturing the WWF Women's Championship that same year. Her victory served as recognition of both her in-ring talent and her commitment to playing a character that pushed the boundaries of typical women's wrestling roles at the time. After leaving WWF, Singh continued to wrestle in various promotions, including World Championship Wrestling, WCW, where she competed under her real name and maintained a strong presence in the women's division. Despite her larger-than-life persona, Singh was respected behind the scenes for her dedication to the sport and her experience across multiple wrestling styles. Rhonda Singh's untimely death was a loss to the wrestling community. Today, she is remembered for her pioneering work, her versatility as a performer, and her role in shaping women's wrestling during a transformative era. Paul Bunyan, the legendary giant lumberjack of American folklore, is remembered for his incredible strength, pioneering spirit, and unmatched feats in the timber industry. Born in the dense forests of the American North, Bunyan quickly grew into a towering figure known for clearing vast woodlands and reshaping the American landscape. Alongside his faithful blue ox, Babe, he carved rivers, created lakes, and built entire towns with just an axe and determination. Bunyan's story symbolizes the ruggedness and perseverance of early American settlers. His superhuman labor was admired and mythologized, turning him into a cultural icon who represented innovation and resilience. Tales of Bunyan's adventures, such as digging the Grand Canyon by dragging his axe or creating the Great Lakes to provide water for Babe, became folklore staples. Yet behind the tall tales lies a sobering truth. Paul Bunyan's relentless physical labor took a significant toll on his health. Years of overexertion, constant exposure to harsh elements, and lack of rest led to the development of severe health complications. Most notably, he suffered from chronic heart disease, a condition likely worsened by the immense strain his body endured over time. Ultimately, Paul Bunyan passed away from heart failure, a tragic end that reflected the hidden costs of a life defined by backbreaking work and extreme physical demands. His death sent shockwaves through the logging community and sparked conversations about the human cost of industrial progress. Despite his passing, Paul Bunyan's legacy lives on in literature, festivals, and roadside monuments across America. He remains a symbol of strength and determination, but also a reminder of the physical sacrifices tied to hard labor. His story continues to inspire, while also prompting reflection on the importance of balance between work and well-being. Chris Youngblood, born Christopher Romero on June 5, 1961, was a beloved professional wrestler, best known for his work during the 1980s and early 1990s. A member of the storied Romero wrestling family, Chris carved out a name for himself with his dynamic in-ring style, blending technical skill and aerial agility. He gained fame in promotions such as World Class Championship Wrestling, WCCW, and the National Wrestling Alliance, NWA, where his high-energy performances and dedication to the craft made him a fan favorite. Often teaming with his brother, Mark Youngblood, Chris became one half of a popular tag team that thrilled audiences with their seamless teamwork and chemistry. The Youngblood brothers earned multiple championship opportunities and engaged in memorable rivalries throughout the U.S. wrestling scene. Chris was especially noted for his ability to work both as a crowd-pleasing face and as a compelling character in more intense feuds. Though his mainstream visibility declined by the mid-1990s, Chris continued to contribute to wrestling through appearances in independent circuits and by training up-and-coming talent. His passion for the business never wavered, and he remained deeply involved in preserving his family's legacy and mentoring the next generation of wrestlers. Kevin Owens is the kind of WWE superstar who commands attention the moment he steps into the ring. Whether he's delivering a bone-rattling stunner or cutting one of his signature impassioned promos, Owens embodies intensity. Known for his fearless, high-impact style and no-nonsense attitude, Owens has carved out a reputation as one of WWE's most hard-hitting and emotionally driven performers. But with that intensity comes a price: injuries, physical setbacks, and time away from the ring. Despite it all, Kevin Owens has consistently returned, proving time and again why he's one of the most resilient superstars of his generation. Major injuries. Throughout Kevin Owens' career, Owens' wrestling journey from the indie scene to WWE main events has been paved with bruises, surgeries, and a fair share of pain. He's never shied away from the physical demands of wrestling, but that toll has led to a series of significant injuries over the years. The knee surgeries that sidetracked his momentum. Arguably the most serious injury of Kevin Owens' career came in 2018, when he was forced to undergo surgery on both of his knees. This wasn't a storyline twist or kayfabe exit. It was a legitimate, medically necessary double procedure due to years of accumulated damage from his intense wrestling style. For months, Owens had been working through pain, pushing through his matches like a true pro. But eventually, the injuries caught up with him. WWE pulled him from action, and he underwent arthroscopic surgery on each knee in the fall of 2018. His absence from programming left a noticeable void. Owens had been a key player in several major storylines and fan-favorite segments, and his departure was felt across the board. His return in early 2019 was met with a hero's welcome. While some doubted whether Owens could regain his former form, he quickly silenced those concerns. He re-emerged not only reinvigorated but showing little to no sign of rust. His mobility, intensity, and in-ring IQ remained intact, showing that he had used his recovery time wisely and methodically. 2. Shoulder injuries, a lingering pain from the past. Long before Owens made his mark in WWE, he was grinding it out on the independent scene. The physical punishment he absorbed in those formative years followed him into the big leagues, especially when it came to his shoulders. Owens has dealt with recurring shoulder issues for much of his career. One of the more notable flare-ups happened in 2015, shortly after his impactful debut on the WWE main roster. He suffered a shoulder injury that, while not severe enough to require surgery, still affected his in-ring performance. At times, Owens had to modify his wrestling style, reducing certain high-risk moves to avoid aggravating the issue. Despite the nagging nature of the injury, Owens has managed it effectively through physical therapy and by listening to his body. Over the years, there have been occasional pauses or changes in his wrestling output, but he's always bounced back. His ability to adapt has kept him not just in the mix, but thriving among WWE's elite. 3. Hand and wrist injuries, the cost of brawling brilliance. Kevin Owens' matches often look like street fights disguised as wrestling bouts, and it's no surprise that this style has taken a toll on his hands and wrists. In 2020, Owens suffered a wrist injury during a particularly brutal match. Reports indicated a minor fracture or sprain resulting from a high-risk maneuver gone slightly awry. Though not a career-threatening injury, it was enough to sideline him briefly. Given WWE's increasingly cautious approach to superstar health, Owens was given time off to recover fully. Other smaller incidents over the years, sprained fingers, jammed wrists, are part of the package when you wrestle the way Owens does. He's never been one to complain, often choosing to push through minor injuries, as long as they don't compromise his performance or long-term health. 4. Rib injuries and undisclosed internal pain. One of the more underreported but serious injuries Kevin Owens has endured involved his ribs. Following a particularly savage ladder match in 2021, Owens admitted in interviews that he had been dealing with intense rib pain for weeks. While he didn't take an extended break, insiders suggested that the injury may have included bruised or even fractured ribs. painful yet not uncommon in latter matches. Rather than sitting out, Owens did what he always does: he soldiered on. Whether he was dealing with internal bruising or simply needed to catch his breath, fans never saw the pain on his face. But make no mistake, it was there. His willingness to work through such issues without turning them into storyline excuses or social media complaints speaks volumes about his professionalism and grit. Debunking the rumors, separating fact from fiction. Where there's a passionate fan base, there's always speculation, and Kevin Owens is no stranger to the rumor mill. Over the years, he's been the subject of several exaggerated or flat-out false injury reports, retirement rumors, and misleading headlines. After his 2018 knee surgeries, speculation swirled that Owens might be facing early retirement. Some claimed that his knees were beyond repair, or that he might transition to a part-time schedule. Owens, however, put those rumors to bed in classic KO fashion by returning better than ever. His performances post-recovery have included high-profile matches, championship pursuits, and appearances in WWE's top feuds. Far from winding down, he seems to be hitting his stride once again. Concussion speculation and WWE Protocols fans have long speculated that Owens might have suffered concussions during his career, especially given the brutal nature of his matches. While WWE is understandably tight-lipped when it comes to specific medical details, there has been no public confirmation from Owens or the company that he's dealt with significant concussion issues. It's worth noting that WWE's modern concussion protocol is among the strictest in pro sports. If Owens had suffered a major concussion, he would have been pulled immediately from competition and placed into a structured recovery process. The fact that he's maintained a consistent presence suggests that if any such injuries occurred, they were likely minor and handled appropriately. Chronic injury. Exaggeration. Several outlets have painted a doom and gloom picture of Owens' physical condition, claiming chronic knee or shoulder issues might eventually force him into early retirement. But again, Owens has shown little sign of slowing down. He may be wrestling smarter and occasionally less frequently, but the quality of his matches remains elite. Whether it's a last man standing match, a tag team brawl, or a main event title shot, Kevin Owens still delivers. Owens' commitment to health, recovery, and longevity. Behind every great wrestler is an unshakable work ethic, and Kevin Owens is no exception. He's not just tough in the ring, he's smart about his recovery and training. Rehabilitation, a relentless pursuit of recovery. Following his knee surgeries, Owens dove headfirst into a rigorous rehabilitation program. With the help of WWE's medical staff, personal trainers, and physical therapists, he worked tirelessly to rebuild his strength and mobility. He's also adjusted his workout routines to focus more on injury prevention, incorporating strength training, mobility work, and cardiovascular conditioning to stay ready for whatever WWE throws at him next. A shift in wrestling philosophy. While Owens hasn't abandoned his hard-hitting style, he's made subtle changes to extend his career. There's now more focus on technical wrestling, storytelling, and strategic pacing rather than pure physicality. You'll still see him dive off ladders or crash through tables. But these moments are now more calculated, reserved for high-stakes occasions rather than nightly occurrences. It's a smart veteran move that keeps fans engaged while protecting his body, knowing when to step back. Unlike some stars who power through injuries until they're forced to stop, Owens takes a more measured approach. He's spoken openly about the importance of rest and recovery, emphasizing that staying healthy long-term means knowing when to slow down. His time off in 2023 and early 2024 wasn't just due to injury. It was part of a broader effort to manage his schedule and prioritize wellness. And fans noticed that when he returned, he came back sharper, stronger, and hungrier than ever. What lies ahead? Can Kevin Owens stay healthy? As Owens enters the next phase of his WWE career, the big question remains: can he avoid further injuries? The reality is, wrestling will always come with risks, especially for someone as all-in as Kevin Owens. But his track record suggests he's learned how to manage those risks better than ever. With a deeper understanding of his limits, a smarter wrestling style, and a renewed commitment to physical well-being, Owens is positioned to extend his career well into the future. Conclusion: the indomitable spirit of Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens has never been defined by his injuries. If anything, they've revealed the depth of his resilience, the size of his heart, and the fire that drives him every time he walks down the ramp. From double knee surgeries to rib pain and lingering shoulder issues, Owens has battled through more than his fair share of adversity. But each time he's knocked down, he's come back stronger, and with something new to prove. His career is a masterclass in perseverance, grit, and passion. In an era where many stars fade after a few injuries, Owens continues to evolve, adapt, and thrive. And if history is any indicator, the Kevin Owens story is far from over. Whether he's chasing championships, delivering promos, or throwing down in street fights, one thing is certain: Kevin Owens isn't going anywhere, and the WWE Universe wouldn't have it any other way.